Greetings, Shelpers. I know it's a bit unexpected because today was supposed to be Dead Island 1, but I didn't get to this on Tuesday, and with the wonderful amount of getting lost I did yesterday on Sea of Stars, I thought perhaps this might be better. First, before I go online though, I am going to pick a character and do the last two cups, if I remember what the hell they are, on screen. So hold on, because I was gonna do a stream with, or a video with them, and I did not, so apologies, that was my bad, but here we are. So I have to find the last two cups. I think these are it. So we're gonna start this grand prick, and then we're gonna go to the other prick, and that's how we're gonna do it today. And then I'll go online, of course. So yeah, yesterday was hell and a half on Sea of Stars. My own fault. When you give me a dark place and I don't always see the jump off points because of my wondrous eyesight, things get a little rough. And that's precisely what happened yesterday. And I got lost for about half an hour on stream, but husband cut it up for me at the end, and we found the gorilla's mama. I say as I'm using funky, god damn it. But yeah, we found the gorilla's mama, and so now we can begin where she is because it auto-saved. So we are doing well. We are primed for the next installment. I don't know how long Sea of Stars is. People have said it's a short RPG, but that doesn't mean short for me, if you know what I'm saying. If you hear clanging and banging, husband is cracking eggs for brownies. So apology, god dang it, for that. I was on Otter's stream a little bit of, like a week or so ago, and maybe two now, I don't know. Time gets away from me, I'm old. But when husband runs the water in our kitchenette, because that's what we have is a kitchenette, all of a sudden he's like, why is someone running water? Like, who's got water in the background? And it was husband doing dishes. So if you hear all that, that's just, you know, that's how our apartment is set up. So for those of you who don't know what a kitchenette, oh, I couldn't have hit myself with a red, right? Anyway, for those of you who don't know what a kitchenette is, it's just like a big room for your living room and kitchen, and on one end of the room there is, you know, cupboards and a fridge and all that fun stuff. So okay, I did not get caught up in the blast. Haha. Okay, of course that couldn't have happened at the last lap. I'll have the last lap yet. Oh, that's not helpful. And yes, I drive with the thing that keeps me on the road. Of course I do. No, fuck that. Okay. So this is a course that changes a bit. I really like those. It really keeps it fresh to have a course that isn't the same thing all 3 laps. Of course, it could be all the same thing, and I could just be like, oh, misremembering. Oh, there's the Tartarus. I don't know if you all saw the, yeah, see the blue? Yep, it's a Tartarus. Oh god, I'm fucking up so bad. Oh, second's not bad, considering usually where I end up is 5th overall, but we are only in the first one. Funky has some nice tits. And away we go. I'm very glad they put him in, and Pauline. I'm not really a fan of Peachette one way or another. I would have rather had Toadsworth, obviously, but it is what it is. A lot of people forget Toadsworth. I was so bummed out in the spoilers. Mario movie did not have Toadsworth. And I was like, damn it. They had like this old advisor Toad instead, and I was like, why in the free range Christ do we not have Toadsworth? There is like no explanation. By the way, this was an old track, obviously. They did some really, really good work redoing stuff in this one and all kinds of stuff. This was a really good wave. It's very, very solid in my opinion. Husband and I have already done this together. Well, just once I think we did. Ah, god damn it. I got my asshole blown out. Not in the fun way. Oh, by the way, I've heard. Now, I'm not gonna say like whether or not it's true, but I've heard on at least decent authority that on YouTube there is a video labeled educational where I think it's a dude, is showing you how he nares, meaning hair removals, his butt. And there is a bare butt, and he also has, let's say, the smile wide so that you can see the hole. And apparently the hole even does a reflex thing where it moves. So if you've ever wanted to see a spasming bung port, it's actually uncensored under the guise of education on YouTube. Now, I have seen other educational things on YouTube that include nude, like yoga, like nude pictures of like full-on people's genitalia, even a lady's parts open. And so if you're looking for a certain type of education, it's pretty wild. I'm just gonna say that let's say Cornpub should just label itself an educational site. Oh my god, that red shell saved me from the blue shell. I love when that happens, even though usually my husband tells me about it because I'm not the one that happens to. But yeah, I cannot imagine, like, do you really need that kind of instruction? Like how to nair your butt, let's say? Like to the point where you need it on video? I'm not shaming people for sex education. I think sex education, what we get in schools, barely covers it. You know, nowadays, some of the kids in the district I went to are learning about dental dams for, let's say, female oral sex. And to be a cunning linguist, we didn't learn any of that when I was in school. We learned about condoms and STDs and stuff like that, sure. But we didn't learn about safe other types of sex. So even though that's nice, it still fails in a lot of ways. But some of the stuff they're showing, I'm just like, not so much educational in my opinion. I mean, think about all the stuff you could get away with if you're just like, it's educational that I'm like doing this to myself on camera. Uh-huh, sure. That sounds great. Yeah, people really wanted the one track in this, by the way, to turn to nighttime. I think it's one of the tracks. Oh no. I hate this one. I was never a fan of it because I can get turned around just like that. Hello, darkness, my old. Oh my god. Even the antenna doesn't save me. That's alright though. Pauline is a great character. I'm gonna be her next time, hopefully. If I remember. Yeah, Boo doesn't usually give me the good stuff because people who have good stuff, they tend to pop it right away. Like, if you have a star, are you sitting on that shit for the most part? No, you're using that. Because you need to get ahead, so. Oh, yeah, there is that space upstairs that you can go on. Okay, nice. Okay, where is the... God damn it. See what I mean about being turned around on this course? I kind of have to let the antenna do its work, and it still doesn't help. So this course is really hard for me, because I cannot see the way to go, even with the indicators. I had trouble with this course the last game it was in as well. I was honestly hoping it would just be a little bit easier. Yeah, mountain is good. A lot of these are good. They did a really good job. And husband was very happy in the pants that day going through some of these courses. He's like, this is one of the best waves. I'm like, yeah, it's a good wave. Of course, I'm not the biggest fan of this one, but that's my own fault. Because the roundabout turns me around. How are you doing? I hope well, Shy Guy. Whoops, okay. No, I'm already backwards. I'm already fucking back. Are you shitting me? Okay, by the third time I kind of find out where I'm supposed to go. I have one more race in this cup, then... Yeah, I didn't do the video, so I was like, okay, so that's that. So I was thinking last day of the month for my poetry stream, and I'm not sure how to do it. And what I mean by that is, column poems are particular. So I'm not sure if I should try to do one on stream with people, or if I should do poems where, like a poem as far as like step by step. Yeah, GameCube is good. I had a mini breakdown last night and I'm better today. Called the hospital for my blood appointment, and wouldn't you know, still not there. Even though my person at my doctor said, we faxed it to multiple numbers there. And I said to husband, I'm not sure which one is incompetent. And it's so hard because both places have fucked up before. So it's not like I can readily say, yes, it's this person's fault or this organization's fault. So it's been fun. I told them because of Thanksgiving and all the other stuff I have to do, like this weekend is my virtual thing and I'm planning for that. I told them I am not getting things done until I regularly go now. I don't care. I just don't care. I think we found the reason why my blood was too thin, and they're gonna have to take that as an acceptable answer, because if they keep fucking up, I don't have time. You know I'm literally homebound pretty much all day, but I stream, I fucking write back 18 million people, I have holiday shopping to do, holidays to attend to, cooking to do, at least baking. Husband does the cooking. And it's like there's so much stuff I have to do that I cannot spend time figuring all this bullshit out and waiting for them to get their ass in gear. I have to figure out what I'm doing in January for my like writer debut thingy bingy. I'm still contacting people about possibly like reviewing me, even though I'm almost done with that. You know, I can always find one more. So I'm like really busy, and when I'm not busy I'm playing Yakuza, but I'm playing it generally not in business hours, so that part doesn't actually, you know, matter. I'm playing the turn-based Like a Dragon now. I'm liking it, but everybody's like, oh, it's too easy, and like the main story is, but like I run into some people that are just way ahead of my level. So like in 2 rounds I can get downed, and I'm like, people online are like, it's so easy. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? So easy? Like, I just got beat up by a bunch of thugs and they almost fucking killed me. Like, so yeah, I don't know if I'm just that dumb when it comes to turn-based, or so it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, husband's gonna apparently join me for the second cup. You know, so we'll try that, and then he'll probably join me for online as well. God damn it. Watch me end up in 5th place overall after this shitty showing. Beep. But yeah, I'm just trying to get everything ready and I had to write a long letter last night because somebody from Florida writes me letters because she's an online person. So I have a lot of stuff to do. I did not end up in 5th. Go fuck yourself, game. Okay. Now husband will join, I think. But yeah, it's just been difficult. We finally got the broken TV out the door. The one that arrived broken. They took that this afternoon. My mama-in-law is not feeling well, so that sucks. It seems like it's kind of just everything on top of everything. Okay, online? Or do you want to do land for now? Here, I'm going to have you set it up. That way you can do it the way you want to.
Well, you just go to the online and give me such.
Okay. Alright, because I was going to do the second cup, though. Friends?
No, just go to, like, create room.
Create room.
That way you can still control where you go so you can do the other cup.
How do I do that?
Go to friends.
Okay.
And then just do create room.
Okay, because I said, do I go to friends? And you said no.
Sorry, that's my bad.
Okay, I get Pauline, though.
Here we go.
I'm gonna try her out this time. She has some really nice touches on her character. Like what she says and all that kind of stuff, so... It's very nice. I guess we'll... Damn it. I'll just keep the damn cat. Yeah, well, usually... And now this year they're like... Every year they get like sadder. And now they're just... I'm dreading the holidays this year, particularly Christmas. Particularly Christmas Eve, so... That's gonna be fun. I think that's part of the reason why I'm just starting to have mini breakdowns. Alright, we're both in here, so... Do you want to do teams or no?
Whatever you want to do.
We'll do teams, because it's just the cup, and then... Race count, because we need... Yes. Because we need to go to... I'll be over on your side. Wait, hold on. We can't do teams, apparently.
Wait, I thought we could. What? Can you press A? Okay, I don't know what's going on.
They want us against each other.
Can you press B here?
I'm leaving the group. Hold on. Let me see what happened here. Create room. Pauline, let's get everything going. I'm just not going to do teams because they're going to say, oh, you want to be against each other. I thought the CPU was on, so I thought we were going to play against the CPU. But apparently fucking not, question mark. I don't know. So, yeah, because...
Calm, no calm right there. You didn't turn it on, I think.
Oh, I thought they were on by default. My mistake. Okay, team game, correct.
I thought.
Easy calm, easy go. We'll do you know what? All vehicles, we're gonna do hard calm.
Okay.
Husband will have to learn how to carry me. Okay, here we go. Red or blue?
That's the one. I can't change it.
Okay. Alrighty. I hope I put 1 cc, not like 150 or whatever, not 1 or 50. That would suck. Okay. So we're gonna try to cheat the system by picking the same race. I think this is it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But after this, we'll just play online and go wherever. Yeah, I know. I appreciate that. But it's just one of those things where I don't know. Like, I want to be a downer. But like my grandpa died when I was really, really young. And there was a song and it's like, it's a song people play in Christmas, but it's not really a Christmas song. It's an old country song. And the song's like, if we make it through December, everything's going to be all right, I know. Because he was literally dying in December and he wanted one last Christmas. And with everything going on in my family, I just keep hearing that in my head. Like, if we make it through December, everything's going to be all right. But I don't actually think it necessarily will be because of everything. It's just my brain telling me I have to get through Christmas, and then whatever happens after that happens, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. You know, I'm old. I don't really get out of the house, so I can't really make a lot of like in-person connections anymore. Like, I've lost so many people over the last few years. It's a lot. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start like my Sunshine Minute on my stream, is because like a lot of like what's going on in the world is bad. A lot of what's going on in my life is bad. And I wanted to just have like a story like every time I started stream, maybe about like somebody saving a duck that crosses the road, or somebody helping out a neighbor, or you know, those feel-good stories that people skip over on the news between like war and death and sadness and pain. Well, I kind of wanted to do a Sunshine Minute, but then that's more research and everything, and I don't know. I don't want to like promise something that I'm already struggling to fill everything, but at the same time I think we need it, so I'm not sure. You know, I have ideas, I'm just not the greatest executioner of them. And yes, I said executioner like the Pokemon. I do that sometimes. Make puns like that. Like when I'm doing something and it's funny, I'll say I'm historical instead of hysterical. And then people look at me like, oh, you don't know words. Which is fine. I don't care if they don't think I know words. Soccer! Whee! Oh, yes. Let's just get in 5th place where I normally belong. But yeah, her horn is the, like, I don't want to say level up noise, but it's like an old video game noise. Oh, you still got first. What a shock. I told husband he'd be a lot better streamer than me if he had my consistency. Okay, Ice World time. And that is definitely true. Because husband knows more about games, he has more skill with games, and there's just like a lot more he has access to as a streamer, especially as a gaming streamer, that I don't. So if he would be comfortable enough to talk a little more and he had my consistency, I think he would like be an amazing streamer, but he just doesn't stream as much as I do. Okay. Yeah, I'm slow at responding because, you know, I do have a lot of like people who message me, and then like I don't know how to explain this, but like in my normal life, like I know a lot of people, or a fair amount of people, but like not a lot of them are friends. If that like makes any sense to you. Like somebody will know me from high school and be like, oh, we're friends, Toluca and I are friends, and then like only proceed to acknowledge Toluca's existence when they need something. And it's like, cool, that's definitely friendship. And I don't know, it gets a little dicey, I guess. Or I'll have people who are like, I'm your friend, I'm on Facebook, and it's like, yes, that totally makes you a friend to Toluca. To anybody, really. All you have to do is be on Facebook together. Just because you're connected. As a matter of fact, the hundreds of people I'm connected to on Zitter is actually, you know, everybody that is like my dearest friend in real life. Even the GFX bots I mistakenly follow. I'm glad that can't come for you. They did fix some of the items so you can't really like hit your teammates with them as much. And I do appreciate that shit. Oh, cool, a bullet bill. Yes, let me just park my ass over here. Yeah, I've had people like, they've been in like weird positions and they contact me or whatever. And then I like had somebody I was best friends with in like grade school, and she came back into my life, and I was like really trying to be there for her and whatnot, and she's like, I don't really have friends, and because she like has kids and everything like that, and I'm like, well, I understand, but I understand why she doesn't have friends, because she like literally makes no effort. You know, she's fine with her kids, her man, whichever one that is at the time, her job, and her other family members, and that's it. And cool, if that's what your life is like, awesome. But don't lament to me that you don't have any friends and then be like, oh, you want to be my friend? Well, fuck you then. And then I have other people who are like, you're my friend, but they only talk to me when they, let's say, have their spouse cheat on them and need a hand, or when they cheat on their spouse, or and need me to help them figure out their life, or all the other fun things that are associated with, I guess, their existence. I don't know. I've had people ask me for favors and then not follow through on even meeting up with me to ask me for said favor. So again, cool. Yeah, I thought I was gonna hate about this Bowser's Castle. It's actually not too bad. So yeah, I started the other night the Yakuza Like a Dragon with the turn-based one. And I really like it, except like some of the thugs, like I said, or the gangsters that walk the streets, they are getting to be like randomly tough at points and then randomly too easy, and it's like, okay, can I just get a vowel please? Like, and I don't want to like run away from all the street fights, because, you know, in typical RPG fashion, if you're going to get stronger, you need to, apparently I can't do jumps for shit, you know, right now. I fucked up all 4 of them, or 3 of them, whatever. But yeah, in typical RPG fashion, you need to get stronger, so I don't want to run away from the fights, so... So I'm trying really hard to like beat everybody, but if it's going to be too difficult, then meh. I don't know. I told husband, you know, between getting lost yesterday in Sea of Stars and then today I started like getting my ass kicked randomly with just the regular street thieves and stuff on the Yakuza game, I said I need to hang out my gamer tags. No, not 200cc. Not 200cc, definitely not. Oh my goodness. Hi, how are you? I just... What happens when I do 200cc? Ready? I will start my engine, run straight into the fucking wall, and that's where I stay. I am not joking. I wish I were. And that is so painful. That is so utterly painful. And I've tried it once. I know some people who do 200 and they can figure out what the hell's happening. I cannot. So y'all are a marvel, but I suck ass. And 150 is like my Mario Andretti moment. If you can't tell, I even drive with the antenna on the back. Husband doesn't. Husband's a wild man. And right now we're doing the hard CPU for the new tracks before we switch over to online, and he is like getting me through life right now. Because he's a lot better. I'm okay. I'm living, I'm managing. How's everything going with you? Do you play this on 200cc, Reg? Don't lie. Don't lie, Reg. Don't tell me to do something you won't do. Come on, Reg. All right, last one for the new tracks, and then we'll play online. Woo. But yeah, so for the poetry stream, I was like, I could show you in like different stages how to construct the poem. Because this one, okay, I've told everybody what a column poem is exactly, right? It's a poem where you have 2 or more columns that you can read straight down separately like a list, but you can also read straight across like a normal poem. So if you have a poem that has 2 columns, I love this Rainbow Road, by the way, don't at me. When you have 2 poems that you can read as columns, you also can read it straight down. So that means a 2-column poem reads like 3 poems. And they can be similar poems, or they can be like really different poems. And when they're really, oh my god, that was amazing. I didn't even jump it, like trick it, I should have. Anyway, when you're doing 2 different poems that are 2 different columns that are so different from each other, so disparate, what you end up with is something called a dueling poem or a dueling column. And I've only ever written, I think, 1 dueling column fairly successfully. Not very well. See, one of the things I almost want to do is, because I write a lot of column poems, I really would like to show like a lot of the ones I've written, but then that's doxing myself. So unless I do it to where I do not like save the VOD, and who's ever here is here at the time, and then I just strip it of personal information, change the titles a little bit, and stuff like that, you know? Because if I change the titles, I don't put the name on them, and I get rid of the VOD, most likely people aren't going to bother to look it up in that period of time. So that might save my asshole, but I don't know. Yeah, 200cc is way too hard. Definitely way too hard. But since I can barely even survive like 150, like, you know, my grandpa used to say, you drive like I fuck, slow and sloppy. Although he didn't always explain it. So for years, my mom was like, what the fuck does that even mean? So one time we were watching George Carlin, and he explained it, and I said, well, there you go, Mom. George Carlin let you know. So all these years, she was like, what the fuck does it even mean? And so basically, I'm like 25cc. I'm like the kiddie park, you know, type of, like, this is too fast for me. I love speed in real life, though. One of my favorite things I've ever done in my life is go snowmobiling. And I haven't done that since I was about 7 years old. It was so fun. It was so unbelievably fun. Flying through the woods on the back of these little death machines. No helmets. The people on the, like, my aunt was on the back of my snowmobile screaming, slow down, girls, because it was me and a cousin racing, 7 years old, with the controls and the speed. They started by taking me out because they didn't know how I would handle it, because, you know, disabled and all. Oh my god, I first Rainbow Road? Oh my god, I actually won a Rainbow Road over you. How the fuck did that happen? True. It is true, but like I said, if I use, like, my problem is, like, all of my column poems end up published. So, like, I don't have any laying around, so I'd have to write new stuff before the stream. Unless I, like I said, I don't, okay, we're gonna try to take it online, and how do I do that now?
worldwide, I'd say.
And
I
the,
need to wait a bit to join you. Dude, just go ahead.
why, oh, okay,
Versus race.
because of the brownies.
Yeah.
Okay. I will get going. I guess I will use Peach at her or some shit. I mean, I haven't used her yet and she's new, so I mean, she's better than regular Peach. I said what I said. I don't like Peach as a character. We all know this. A lot of people find me sacrilegious for it. I do not fucking care. I honestly fucking hate regular Peach. She is a twat. She is not considerate. She... I mean, don't get me wrong. Okay, Mario 2, her floaty jump, fire. Everything else, she can get fucked. Like, when she treated Mario in, like, fucking Luigi's Mansion 3 and Odyssey as though he were as bad as Bowser, and Bowser and him are just wagging their dicks at her, instead of him, like, being, I don't know, her fucking canon boyfriend, get fucked. Get fucked. Daisy and Luigi have so much more chemistry. Yoshi and Birdo have so much more chemistry than Peach and Mario. And they go from Peach being an assertive, amazing woman to a woman who only does power with her emotions and fucking hates everybody. And it's like, God, you're a twat. And she's friends with Toadette. Okay, why does that matter? Why does being friends with Toadette matter? Okay. Why does it matter? Because Toadette is kind of evil. I love her, but she's kind of fucking evil. She doesn't believe in unions and helping the workers organize. We saw that in, like, I think Mario Maker 2, but I forget. She does so many horrible things. And I'm just like, no wonder you're friends. Okay? No wonder fucking Toadette and Peach are friends. Because they are both horrible, horrible human beings or critters or whatever. They just are. And it's like, her and Daisy are, I guess, are kind of friends, but like, what? It doesn't sound horrible out of context. They're bad people, and Peach is fucking terrible. Like, I can't help how the world works, okay? And people don't understand where I'm coming from with all of this. And it's like, look at her relationship with Toadette. Look at what Toadette believes in. Look at how she's treated Mario in certain games, especially like Odyssey and Luigi's Mansion 3. I mean, come on. Come the fuck on. She's using Mario. She doesn't really have any fucking interest in him whatsoever, which, you know what, is fine. Just because a guy or a girl or a person looks at you with lust or attention does not mean you have to give them your attention. It does not mean that. However, when you are like kind of sort of on again with him, and like some games you're flirty and nice to him, and like you really want to get with him, and like you seem like you're heading that way. Everything is heading that way. And it's been heading that way for, I don't know, fucking 30 years? And then you just fucking blow them off? And I know, like, people are gonna be like, well, in Luigi's Mansion 3, when she, like, doesn't take his hand off the bus, it's because he's basically kind of sort of maybe possibly being sexist, giving her his hand, and she's like, no, I is femzins, and I can do what I want, and I'm a big strong femviz. He was being nice to her, that's all it was. And he thinks he's her boyfriend, okay? When it's your boyfriend and he's offering and you don't want help, which is your right again, you could just say, no thank you, I can manage. Or that's sweet of you, but no thank you. Like I said, if it were the fact that, you know, they were never like pegged as boyfriend and girlfriend, or pegged each other, whatever, it would be different. But I think because they want to do the whole girl power thing with Peach, after she's been basically nothing but a fucking damsel in distress on and off for so goddamn long, that they make her come off as a twat. Like an unbelievable, undeniable, third-rate trash bin twat. And I really don't like it. And before people accuse me of like being a boy mom or a sexist or whatever, I love Daisy. I love that Daisy's fierce and spunky and that she has attitude and everything like that, and she's kind of a tomboy. I love that. I absolutely love that about her. You know, so far I love Rosalina. As far as like her backstory, I don't have much opinion of her one way or another as a character, but I like her backstory. I like that she had a backstory. Yeah, there's like a lot of different things about Toadette, and the fact that her and Toadette are so close. Like, you don't always believe everything your friends do, but kind of, sort of, you are the company you keep at the same time. Okay, is husband here? Yes. I think so. I don't really know, so I'm just gonna vote random. But yeah, there's just so many things about Peach where I don't know if they tried to fix her image and then it just went out of the window or something, but no. And I love Daisy. She's powerful, she's spunky, she's faithful to Luigi, even as friends, whatever. I don't care. She doesn't like treat Luigi like shit, like Peach does Mario. And it's like, okay, if he is your submissive and you are his dame, that's one thing, but don't put that in front of the kids, right? Like, I don't know. Luigi has never treated fucking her that way. She's never treated Luigi that way. Yoshi has never treated Birdo that way. They're always a great team. She's rocking his fucking engagement ring. She's a powerful woman without needing to put down a man to be powerful. And that is one thing that I don't like about this, is I think they tried to rehabilitate her a little too hard. To the point where she's not just a damsel, but whoops, guess what? Now she's a twat. Maybe she got tired of being thought of as useless, because she was for the longest time. I don't know. But yeah, not good, not cool. Mario really needs to find a different partner. I suggest Pauline. Pauline doesn't have like an eye hidden with like half the fucking cosmos in it. Don't at me, Rosalina knows what she is. And, you know, there's just, he can leave Peach to her, you know, lifestyle, whatever the hell that might be. And that's fine. If she doesn't want a man, that's fine. But, you know, it's not like he's a sex pest, where he was just some guy who thought he deserved something because he saved her. But anyway, I digress. Enough about that. I could yammer about her for a long time. And people are just like, they don't understand. I've actually almost gotten into fights with a few different VTubers because of my utter dislike for Peach. Maybe one day she will redeem herself. But I don't like people who think they are powerful when they put other people down. And that's really what it seems like with Peach and Mario. I could be wrong about that, but that is how I feel because that is how it looks. And then, like I said, the Toadette problem is something else. I do like Toadette because at least she doesn't try to fucking hide what she is behind this supposed veneer of civility. You know, if she's a fucking spiteful little asshole who doesn't believe in like equal rights and whatnot, at least she says it. Yeah, I know. The thing is, they started giving them personality, and then I started seeing how disparate and jarring her personality was compared to what they had it put as before, and I'm just like, oh great. So like, it feels so false. Well, I sucked banana on that one. And it's because it is false. So, i.e. not the biggest fan. And that's okay. You know, maybe I don't mind the other ones because I don't really get that kind of a view of anybody else. Like, maybe if they had Daisy, like, talking about, like, something I didn't really care for her talking about, I'd be like, fuck Daisy, I don't know. I'm not sure. It would be nice to, just keep my squeaky clean ideals of her, I suppose. I know, tell us how you really feel, Toluca. But yeah, it's just so jarring the way they tried to fix her. And I think Rosalina is hiding something in that eye of hers. And I think Mario's better off with Pauline. So I'm shipping him with Pauline right now. She's a smart, confident businesswoman, great singer. I'm just shipping them together. And that's it. That's the end of it for me. And everybody's like, I don't understand your malice. It's okay. Maybe because they've oh god, I spun out. Fought against giving them like true personalities for so long. Now that they're doing it, it's just really fucked up. You know, it's kind of like when they actually... Okay, because you know Birdo is trans, right? Birdo's name is Catherine. Birdo didn't start out life as a supposed Catherine, but, you know, she is she, and that's who she is. Well, people were like, well, you know, in Japanese culture, they use trans people as a joke, so that means that Birdo wasn't really supposed to be trans. Birdo was just a joke back then, and then they fixed it. And it's like, it's canon, part of her lore, that she is a trans woman. Get the fuck out. They used, he likes to dress up as a girl, and then they just switched it to she. And I'm like, once you do that and more, there is no coming back from it. I don't care what your intention was. Birdo is a girl. Birdo is a trans girl. And Yoshi has no problems. That big ass ring, that lovely big ass ring, that's her engagement ring. They are a team for life, baby, him and her. Yeah, Luigi actually has like, but he's like a scaredy cat and whatnot, for the most part. But yeah, you're right, they did do more for him than they did for Mario even. And Nintendo was really upset about them having a backstory for the fucking movie. And it's like, you have to have some kind of backstory. And it was like pretty milquetoast for a backstory too. They just really didn't want them to do that. And it's like, how are you going to relate to anything that happens with these characters if they don't have any backstory? So I think that's kind of why I don't like Peach. Is they really did a lot of different things with everything going on, and then they didn't know how to fix it. They didn't want her to be a damsel in distress, and they just said, well, how do we get out of this? And it's like, I don't know. I guess we could make her like not need no man. And it's like, well, that's, you know, a way to go about it, but she already kind of had one, so are we gonna have them break up? No, she's just gonna treat him like crap. Cool, cool. No problems there that I can see. Oh, I got plus this time. My driving record is trash. How's your driving record? You winning?
This time I did.
Good, good.
Last time I came one place above you.
Only one?
Yeah.
Oh my god. They gave Toad's Turnpike and Moonview Highway. I'm gonna pick Dragon Driftway. Fuck that. So yeah, next week I'm gonna give one more try to Dead Island. And if we have another day where I have to look for a can of food through the whole stream because the can of food they gave me is up too high and I can't like blow it down with a Molotov or anything, then I'm probably going to quit the game. I'm not sure. I do intend on finishing Sea of Stars still. I might have to have husband on deck for more help because I can't always see the ledge and blah blah blah. And Dead Island I really wanted to get through as well, but after what they pulled with the can of food, at least with Sea of Stars, that was my bad. That was my turtle gets fucking lost forever bad. But with Dead Island, that was not my bad. The way they did the food up there, that was not my bad. They did not give me a way around it to my knowledge. And yet they told me, oh, it's there, it's there. And it's like, but is it there if I can't get a hold of it? Come on now. So, I will definitely take the L on Sea of Stars. That was my eyesight and whatnot. However, I will not cop to the Dead Island fucking fruit can fiasco. That was not my fault. Just definitely not. I know, but I am going to give it one more try. Let's see if we can make any progress. But I think then again, thinking about it, I also got stuck on the supposed chapter 2. So I don't know. You know, I could bring it over to a YouTube playthrough. But then again, I did that with something else and I still haven't completed that one. I don't know. People could let me know. You know, I could just start playing the games that are like comfy to me. I should start Rogue Legacy 2. It was one of my favorite games, I think, last year. The favorite game last year. And I've never played it on stream for any of you. It's because roguelikes take me a while and my brain is like, oh, well, nobody's gonna want to watch me like do the same shit over and over again. Says as I'm playing Mario Kart again, Fortnite again. Says as I'm playing Judgment for months at a time to get through the game. So maybe I will just pick up Rogue Legacy 2 because like I said, it was my favorite game last year. I don't know. If people who are watching this now or on demand, if y'all can tell me, do you want to just start seeing like Rogue Legacy or something else? Let me know. Instead of Dead Island, I'm going to finish Sea of Stars. Because Sea of Stars for me right now is a Game of the Year contender. So, I have to finish it in order to know whether it's going to be on my Game of the Year list ultimately. You know, that would make sense. I can't just put on stuff that I've never played through the finish. Like, how do I know if a game is good if I haven't played the whole damn thing? Like, there's this person that I watch once in a while, and he's ridiculous, and not in a good way. And he's talking about, like, oh, okay, he played Hogwarts Legacy, and I'm not bringing the politics into that game. Y'all should know how I feel about joke rolling by now. But he was like, it's because of liberal politics that the game didn't get nominated for anything. And then he was bitching about because of the video game awards with Jeff Keighley, and then he's like, it has to do with like the fact that they're all his buddies and the fact that liberal politics played a part. And then he's like, it should have been a Game of the Year contender. At least that's what he said at first. And he said, yeah, like the last third of the game was like really boring and tedious. And I'm like, dude, can we talk about what a Game of the Year is supposed to be? Like 33% of the game or so being tedious at the end when it should be ramping up into something like heavenly fucking bliss. Get your pants back on. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Am I wrong here? Like, when you hear Game of the Year, do you hear boring and tedious at the end instead of, like, one of the best climaxes I've ever fucking seen? Yeah, they are replayable, that is true. Yeah, it was actually a really great game. Rogue Legacy 2 beats Rogue Legacy 1 out of the water. So I'm thinking about dropping that island and playing that. Unless anybody out there is like, please, I want to see her get lost in the tropics for like the next 20 years, then I'll consider keep going, but I might just drop it and play Rogue Legacy. But yeah, I want to play Sea of Stars through to the end. I really enjoy it. It's not their fault that I get lost. I'm just silly that way. But yeah, I should actually like play some of the games on stream that I've been talking about. Like, okay, last year my favorite games were Rogue Legacy 2, I think. I did not play that on stream. Potion Permit, I did not play that one on stream. And the second Horizon game, which I, of course, did not play on stream. So I think none of the 3 games that were my top 3 last year, I played on stream. None of them. Like, not one. And I do play a lot of games off stream, so it's not like I'm lying and telling you like, oh, I played this game and I didn't, because I did. But at the same time, like, you don't get to experience them with me because I never, yeah. So I'm looking at it and going, at least one of my games should probably have been one of the games I played. But this year, I think I'm going to have most, if not all of them, be from games I played this year on stream. Yeah, that would be fun. Like, that would be really fun. Just play the games I like over and over and over again. But that means you're subjected to comfy games like Potion Permit. Or a lot of the other comfy games I play. You know? Outside of the fact that there were boring spots, I really did like Minoko's Night Market. There were a few things, like I said, that detracted from it. Like, especially like when you're waiting on a new upgrade, but for the most part, I really liked it. Is it going to be a Game of the Year contender for me? Not really. But still, it's like, I really liked the new Gaiden Man Who Erased His Name. But is it going to be Game of the Year for me? No. Why? Because a lot of the stuff, like the way you get the side quests, is very much just getting it from a list. And to me, that was kind of, I don't want to say pointless, but there is no like walking around and finding it. I mean, the new games, I like that you can tell where they are on the map, but like you don't really get that sweet, sweet intro scene too much. And it was just like picking it off of a storyboard. And there were some other things about it that I just didn't jive with. Like, it wasn't long enough for me because that game was originally a DLC. And they're trying so hard to fit Kiryu in with Ichiban for the game that's coming out next year. The one that you showed me the article on, Shy Guy. And they're trying to do that so hard and so quickly that, it was a very short game that should have been a DLC. And was originally planned to be such. But then it was a full game. So it's like, okay then. So there was, like I said, a few things where I was just like, So, but did I enjoy it? Hell yes. Were there callbacks where I fucking screamed like a fangirl? 1 or 2. I'm like, oh my god, he's with these people again. Like the Jima brothers. Every time I see the Jima brothers, I lose my fucking shit nowadays. I fucking love the Jima brothers. And everybody knows Majima. But I really like Saejima too. So, and I'm just like, oh my god, yes, every time. I'm thinking to myself, they better fucking make Majima a fucking full game playable character again before the end of the series. Because Majima is fucking incredible, okay? He's a little bit unhinged, he's loyal to a fault, he's brash. You know, one thing about Kiryu versus Ichiban, Kiryu is very stoic until like a flood of emotions come back. Kiryu has what I call the Goku disease, which is like fighting is all he knows and he wants to be the best. And it's like something that gives him the itch. Like all the time. So he constantly wants to know how he stacks up against everybody and everything in the fucking universe. And that's like, he is born to fight. He is born for combat. Like, he doesn't know what to do with himself without it. Like, that's the thing about Kiryu, is he will never have like an easy retirement. He will, like, till the day he dies, be on the street, like, fighting till his guts are puked up on the sidewalk. That's just how Kiryu is. And I do like certain parts of his personality, but like he rarely jokes, he rarely whatever. He's just a stoic man who likes to fight, cares deeply about people, but I don't know. There's something that always feels missing with Kiryu. You know, because he likes to fight and because that takes up so much of his personality. It feels like the loyalty and stuff he has and everything, yeah, it's good. And yeah, he's mythical, but he's almost like a mythical statue type hero, if that makes sense. And Ichiban is brash and bold and caring to a fault, and he does the shit jobs that no one wants without complaint, and he tries his best and his hardest like Kiryu, but it's more from a idealistic perspective. Like, he's an idealist. The reason why his stuff is turn-based is because I sucked on that one. But yeah, the reason why he does what he does is that, you know, he wants to be a hero. He grew up playing Dragon Quest, and so that's why he sees everything turn-based, is because he is in a hero arc and he wants to do this and that. And I'm like, okay, you know, it's kind of corny, but I kind of love it. In a weird way. Ichiban's look at the world. Like, he got out of prison when he was like early 40s, like 41, and he's reacclimating to everything, and he doesn't know who he's gonna be now because he was betrayed, and it's just like he wants to be a hero. So one of his buddies says to him, well, why don't you be your childhood dream? Why don't you be a hero? So like, that's why he sees people as like a video game where they have the life bars and stuff, and that's why he does the turn-based thing, and that's why he levels up. And yeah, it's dumb, but he's a big lovable goofball who like a lot of different people shit on, but they also had cared about him at the beginning. And there's just so much about Ichiban that I really like. You know, the way he views the world, who he is. You can actually like do things in the game that influence like his passion, his confidence, his style, his kindness. So you can like upgrade his personality and how you interact with people and whatnot. And I really appreciate that. And you know, he talks about like getting like a job, and he's like, it's time to grind for money, you know. So it's all I like it. It's kind of dumb, but I kind of like it because, you know, life's hard, and we're not gonna make it out of this life alive, and none of us are. And if picturing yourself as the main character is what gets you through, picturing like everything you do as being like a training arc or whatever gets you through doing it, why not? You know, you're not forcing everybody else into your La La Land, like, oh, you have to be the villain I fight, or you have to be my sidekick, and you just let the chips fall where they may. What is the problem with that? Damn it, I knew it was gonna hit me in the asshole. Guess I'll go near it on YouTube. Anyway, yeah, so I like Ichiban. He's affable and lovable, where Kiryu is this, like, stoic, untouchable. They're both loyal and stuff. And one of the things I don't like about Yakuza is it's still very much male-dominated. But that's just kind of how it is. I think Ichiban actually, like, travels with a female character. Eventually. I haven't gotten her yet. But, you know, Ichiban was, like, the son of a prostitute. He grew up in a soap land, which is kind of like, I guess, a brothel. And the mother had left him. He doesn't know who his father is. And the guy who ran the soap land and the girls who worked there are the ones who took care of him. You know? And so he just has a lot of different outlooks. He is one of those people that is kind of like a statue. He has depth to him. Like, okay, eventually he, like, watches over an orphanage in, like, the third game, which is the weakest game in the series. I bitched about the orphans and how they handled the development of the orphans in the... But anyway, I digress. And he loves these kids. Like, he will do anything for these kids. And one of the ways he kept them safe eventually from everything is to, like, leave them. Like, one of the reasons why he's the man who erased his name, spoilers, is because in one of the real past games, he found out some things about this group that's not really Yakuza, but it's a group, and that does shady shit. And he wanted the kids safe. And one of the ways he did that was to have the organization fake his death. And so when he sees the kids on camera, because they find the camera that was, like, pointed at Kiryu's grave, quote unquote, he just starts, like, sobbing and breaking down because he loves the kids there. Like, all the kids that he helped raise for those years. And he has, like, an adopted daughter, and she had a son, so, like, he can't see his, like, adopted daughter and his grandson or the other kids at the orphanage, and they're growing up, you know, obviously. And see, here's the thing about the man who erased his name. A lot of the people who knew Kiryu think he's alive. The kids from the orphanage think he's alive still, though they don't have proof. Like, the Jima brothers and Daigo, the guy who was his, like, who was the boss's son, who ended up being the boss of the Tojo clan, he thinks he's alive still. Like, almost every fucking person on the planet, whoever knew Kiryu, was like, we never saw a body, this motherfucker ain't dead. But yeah, they have to still pretend like he is dead, so I'm like, whatever. The only person who knew he wasn't dead for a fact, besides the people who helped fake his death, and who are like shady underworld people, god dang it, I thought I'd make it, was one of the cops called Data. Like, I think that's his name, Data. Data-san. And Data knew because he either helped it happen or was there when it happened. But yeah, so Data was the only one who knew for sure. But, like, nobody in his life, Kiryu's life, was like, yep, that motherfucker finally bit it. I mean, he's been shot how many times, stabbed through the gut, like, I don't even know, like, exploded, and guess what? Nope, everything's good. Like, he survived so many things that would have killed a normal man, that when nobody produced a fucking body of any kind, by the way, they were like, yeah, no, it wasn't him. Like, they didn't even think to produce, like, a lookalike body or something. Nope. And they're like, we knew it couldn't be him because he didn't exist. You know, unless you see him like literally dead in his coffin or some shit, you can't say he's done. And I know why. Because, you know, he just has been through so many things. You know, the Groundhog Day movie with Bill Murray where he's like, I've been stabbed, shot, hung, electrocuted, poisoned, and burned, or whatever. That's basically Kiryu. Like, if you don't see his body in front of you, and you don't, like, make sure the heart's not beating in different ways, you can't be sure he's dead. But yeah, there are good things about Kiryu. It's just, I don't know, something about Ichiban's youthful optimism and how he interacts with the world is just better than the straight man that Kiryu has been most of his career. I admire the loyalty, I admire the fact that he does go out of his way to help people still, but like, I don't know, he feels detached from the world in a way Ichiban does not. Like, Ichiban feels like he totally inhabits the world. Like, everything in it. Every meal is the best meal, every whatever is the best. You know, and Kiryu, while he enjoys fine food and whatnot, also at the same time, he's like reserved. It's like if it's an amazing meal, he's not like whatever. Although they do give Kiryu some funny things. Like there was a chat cafe with like half naked girls and he would type like with 2 fingers in one of the games and he'd be like, oh yes, take it off, and he'd spell it badly and slowly. And that was a fun mini game. I mean, they do give him some kind of stuff, but, you know, at the same time, it just feels removed. And you can't develop his personality. Sometimes you can choose what he says, but he's too much of a straight man for me. And Ichiban, just, he's like color splashed all over. Like, I think Kiryu would be good for Ichiban, and I think Ichiban would be good for Kiryu. If that makes sense. Because I think they'd balance each other out. But apparently in the second game, they're meeting in Hawaii, so I think they do interact with each other in the game I'm currently playing. At least somewhat for a bit, and I know in the game I just got done playing, they did interact together for a very, very little bit. And for some reason, Kiryu said he owed Ichiban. And in the second game, they're together, so. And in the second game, Ichiban is still turn-based, where Kiryu is not. And I guess it's because Kiryu does not have the hero arc from Dragon Quest going through his head. That's at least my guess. Yeah, and Ichiban actually has, like, when he meets certain characters, he actually, like, dresses them up in his head as, like, certain kinds of bad guys and stuff. Like, all of a sudden they're wearing different clothes, or they have a shield or whatever. So, I don't know. I really love the series. My husband recently said to somebody, my wife is a Yakuza fangirl or like a Dragon fangirl, and I'm like, I'm a fangirl? And I was thinking about it, and it's like, ah, fuck, I'm a fangirl. I'm a fangirl, and a couple years ago, or a few years ago, if you mentioned to me playing these games, I would have been like, why would I play these games? They are not good looking. They don't look fun. They don't look interesting. And I'm like balls deep in every fucking game I can find. Yeah, but it took them a very long time to introduce Ichiban. You know, unless they had this all planned out from the jump. Kiryu had been the only real protagonist. I shouldn't say that. Like, some games had multiple protagonists. Like, one of the best games, I think it was 4 or 5. And they had, like, multiple protagonists, and they each did different things in different ways. It was the game where they introduced Saejima. And Saejima would, like, go hunting in the woods, and he actually beat up a fucking grizzly bear with his bare hands. Because Saejima is a strong motherfucker. And, so there was him. And, like, Haruka, the daughter of Kiryu that I talked about, she actually would do rhythm games and stuff because she was trying to be a a pop idol person in Japan. So that's what she would be doing. And Kiryu actually did driving at that point because he was trying to pretend to be someone else who was a taxi driver. So he had racing and stuff to do. And like that one was a really, really interesting story they had in that one game. I'm not sure, like they had 2 games I think where they had multiple protagonists, and both of them were interesting, but the one where they introduced Saejima, that one is like the holy grail of Gaiden games for me. Because of all the different characters playing so different, all their different personalities on display, you know, as much as they can be with Kiryu, cough cough. And it was just such a really, it was an amazing game. Like Kiwami 1 and 2, or 0 and 1 or whatever, they were good games. All of them were at least solid, except the third one was the weakest one, where they introduced the orphanage, because they spend a lot of time on the kids. And I know it was meant to be that way because Kiryu does have to develop a rapport and everything with these children, but some of the requests, some of the issues were just no. But it was good to see the little bastards grown up again, so, you know, maybe that's why they had to do it that way. But the third game, they could have figured out a different way to introduce the kids, where it wasn't like, oh, you gotta chase this girl all over the fucking city, or this person doesn't have, like, the balls to say that they stole their, like, house sister's lunch money, and now you have to, like, get them to confess or whatever. And it was like, I don't want to babysit children. Like, my life, like, if you're my family, I'll babysit your kid, but, like, otherwise, like, I am not one of those people that's like, let me open a daycare. I would just, that's not a thing for me. I don't want to say I'm not nurturing, but, like, I'm not the person you come to if you have, like, problems with your kid. So all this whole, you know, we're gonna try to figure it out, and yeah, but like I said, the one where they had Haruka and Saejima as actual characters was really, really good. Some of the characters they introduced in those games with multiple protagonists, though, you never see them again. Like, I think in the 4th one, they gave you, like, this baseball player guy who really didn't have a home. And he owed a loan shark a lot of money and everything like that. Well, he's never seen again. Well, at one point you're this cop guy who ends up being Data's partner in the department. You never see him again. Like, I don't like that they give me people who are like at least a co-protagonist in a game, and then they're like, nope, fuck you, they don't exist anymore. You know, it's like they couldn't even have Data in a later thing say, oh, so-and-so is doing fine at the department, and here it's so-and-so is the guy you played as for like at least a quarter of the one fucking game. I don't think that's asking too much here. You know, I really don't. Because why give me like that kind of a person with that big of a story and twine all the stories together and then be like, whoops, there's that thread you wanted, well, we're just gonna drop that shit. So, yeah, I don't know. I just don't like the way they do some things. But for the most part, I honestly love the franchise. I love the combat. I love all the different side stories, how they weave them all together. I think that's part of the reason I don't like that they did Cole people and then never showed them again. Like, Saejima ended up being like, because he was like one of, like, Majima's brother-in-arms. And he is kind of the reason Majima lost an eye, in a way. Like, inadvertently. And part of Majima's backstory is that he lost an eye because he was, like, standing up for his friend and trying to save his friend from something he knew would fuck him over. And the higher-ups in the Yakuza, they basically beat him up and, like, tortured him because he was disobeying because he wanted to save his friend. Because he knew his brother in the Yakuza was going to be thrown to the wolves, so to speak. Because they were supposed to pull a heist or let's say, that's not a heist, it's a murder. They were supposed to kill a bunch of other Yakuza from a rival faction. And here they told Majima not to go with Saejima when they were young. And Majima's like, fuck this, I'm going. And because he disobeyed, then, you know, they probably think they don't need to address them. I just hate it when people bring up, okay, like I said, and like I think the fourth one, there was this baseball player. And at the end, he does go back to his hometown. But like, I would really enjoy, son of a bitch, finding out like what happened to this guy. Like, he was a washed up baseball player, and he ended up, okay, remember how I said Daigo was the head of the Tojo clan? Well, Daigo ends up seeing this guy because it's a whole big conspiracy, and like, the reason the guy got thrown out of baseball was because he was considered to have thrown a game and all of this, and here it was like a Yakuza betting ring, and it wasn't his fault at all, and so he lost his fucking right to play and then got to be middle-aged, or in his 40s I should say, and everybody thought he was a loser, that he threw games and shit, and it wasn't him. So Daigo, the guy who ran the Tojo, who was kind of like a semi-son to Kiryu at points, he ends up tracking down the baseball player because he liked the baseball player and he knew shit was afoot, and that was all part of a bigger scheme. While the baseball player at the end of the game did go home. Okay, he did go home. But you don't hear how he's doing, and you don't hear anything. But some people who are like a minor sub-story, they actually get seen again in a different sub-story. So I'm like, why can't we just have like an Easter egg? Like, the guy is like coaching like a team now that appears in a newspaper or in a sub-story. Something that still connects them. Because they give us minor characters that you only see for like one side quest. And they give us the character 3-4 times. Or at least more than once. You know? But yeah, you have somebody who you were for a quarter of the fucking game, for one game, and all of a sudden, nope, not even an Easter egg. And it's like, if all this shit is connected, and everything like that, and you're doing fan service, why are you letting the detective from the one game not exist anymore? Why are you not giving us any updates on the baseball player guy? Like, I know I could be being picky at that point, but like, I think if you were playing as someone, I think they should have updates for you. If that makes sense. If there was a character that was so good or good enough in their imagination to actually make him part of the front row for a game, you should at least hear about them again. In passing, on a billboard, something. And no, there have been at least 2 characters where you were playing as them in one of the ensemble games, and then they just fucking drop out of the world forever. And it's like, okay, fine, fuck you on that one. So I'm not happy with that one. But yeah, Majima has kind of a love interest in one of the first games where he is actually a playable character. I think one of the only game he's a playable character. He ends up kind of sort of falling in love with the girl he's supposed to assassinate, who is a blind masseuse or whatever. And as they redid the games, they actually put in kind of a semi-conclusion to that arc. And I thought that was nice. But I'm like, looking at these other 2 people, at least, that I've played as, you didn't even play as the masseuse. It was just kind of a half-assed love story that gets a conclusion. But I have a cop and a baseball player who don't get any kind of mention ever again. And they actually helped fucking Kiryu figure everything out. You know? And another thing is that I don't see, there's another guy called, I'm gonna fuck up his name, Akiyama, and he was part of kind of like a thing for a couple games as well. I haven't heard from Akiyama in a while. And I'm just like, okay, now where's Akiyama? I played as this bastard. Again, one of the main characters in the Ensemble games. And then a character besides. So I'm like, where the fuck is Akiyama? Like, what are you doing to me? You know, maybe Akiyama shows up in like Lost Judgment. I don't remember him showing up in regular Judgment. So there are just threads that I want. If I played as somebody, I should get updates. I'm sorry, I should. It's not my rule. If they can give me a minor character who appears in multiple sub-stories, they can give me a character update that I've actually fucking played as and had to learn about, and their life and their backstory. I don't make the rules at this point. If they're going to give more than one sub-story to the dirty old grandma who practically humps Kiryu on a fucking dirty floor, maybe it was, but I still want to hear about them. Like, I still want to, even if the reception was poor, you're telling me, like, they couldn't be like, oh, this guy appeared in a sub-story, or this was, like, in an article you had to read, they mentioned this guy's name again, or whatever. Or, you know, they could be like, Kiryu goes to batting practice and is like, I wonder about the baseball player dude, like, how he's doing, or whatever. Just something that makes them seem like they didn't disappear into the goddamn ether. You know, if I played as the character, I don't want them to disappear. Now, they didn't do that to Majima. They didn't do that to Saejima. Like I said, Akiyama, though, is kind of gone. Which is surprising, because he had more than one appearance in a game. Maybe they'll bring him back later, but... And I have seen Kiryu now with... do you remember Kaito from Judgment? The guy that was helping Yagami? Kaito actually runs into Kiryu at some point in the sub-stories of the man who erased his name. So, like, they're all kind of entwining, and then it's just like, by the way, there are these at least 2-3 people now that you fucking forgot about, okay? I don't know why, it drives me nuts. I don't know why, but it does. Maybe because if they force me to play as somebody, I don't want to lose track of them necessarily. Like, you're telling me like a 2-sentence wonder where this guy is, or, oh, I saw that he was coaching like a little league in a different city, and like, it doesn't have to be where you play as them ever again. It doesn't have to be where you fight alongside them ever again. But at one point, there is like this big grand conspiracy, like all these people are trying to stop, and like they come together and all these different parts are in motion at the end, and they're like trying to stop this big like assassination attempt and like a few other things going wrong. And I'm just like, can't they just mention that person? Like, that person was important enough to be here. Like, I don't know. Yeah, the cop, and then there was a baseball player. But I don't care if they're popular or not. Like I said, I don't have to play as them ever again. You could just tell me, like, they had Data-san, and Data-san ends up being his partner. It's when Data-san is like back on the fucking force, right? So why can't they just say, hey, Data-san, one of the last games could have been like, oh yeah, you remember Dick Face? Yeah, he's doing well, or whatever. Just like that, they could have brought him up and dropped him, or whatever, just so that they don't disappear like they don't fucking exist. Like, Data, like, working with this guy and then not bringing him up at all afterward, even though, like, Kiryu and everybody fucking knew him, was just bizarre to me. Like, a very bizarre choice. I don't care that he wasn't popular. Like, he doesn't even get a line in a fucking dialogue anymore, or the fucking baseball player. I know his arc was pretty much closed, but they weren't like, oh yeah, there he is doing whatever he's doing again or whatever. I don't know. It feels unfinished to me. If you, like I said, if you can give me perverted humps Kiryu grandma for more than one game, you could give me a fucking line or two about a specific guy I was supposed to play a quarter of a game with. That's like the end of that one for me. That's like the be all end all of that discussion. Oh man. The person behind me is a bit angry. I think it's because I chopped his dick off with my piranha plant. I'm in third. Everybody else had crossed the finish line. I get it. Okay, I'm like, why are they hitting me with the blue shell? Oh, man. But yeah, I'm not saying the cop was a strong character. I'm just saying that we should have had that. Okay, but they could have just mentioned him. Like I said, they could have been like, hey, like in the sixth one, the, like, A Song of Life and whatever. Yeah, they could have been like, hey, Data-san, how is Fuckface? And he could have been like, oh, he's settling in all right. Or whatever. And it would have been like, hey, he continues his life off screen. And they bring him up enough to know that there are still tendrils tying everything together, because Data didn't actually bring Data, whatever, did not actually, I think they call him Date-san, but I call him Data-san. Anyway, Data-san ended up being that guy's partner, so I'm just like, why doesn't he mention him at all in like the sixth one or whatever? I don't know. They could have just mentioned him so that it felt like they continued on. You know? Especially since Date, whatever the fuck his name is, that he was in that game, like in the games, and he could have brought him up. Just easy peasy, lemon squeezy, then dropped him, and then that's it. They wouldn't have had to bring him back for a cameo. They wouldn't have had to like make him playable again. If they didn't want to like do a sub story, you know what, that's fine. They could have just like brought him up in a sentence, just like the baseball fucker. Yep. So I don't like when they bring up somebody, put him in that kind of a position, and then say, yeah, no, you're never gonna hear about them again. But you know those little bratty fucking kids that Kiryu is had cultivated a collection of and loves more than his own life? Well, those kids that really got under your skin in like the third fucking game, that made it the weakest game in the franchise, we're gonna hear about those little cocksuckers again. Because it's the only thing that basically humanizes Kiryu. And we don't know how to do that otherwise. Otherwise, he's just a loyal fucking robot who loves to fight. So unless we occasionally go, haha, Kiryu does have sex drive with the dirty fucking type cafe, the internet cafe with the girls, or we get the occasional, you know, he does smoke and stuff, so he's not a robot, haha. It's the only way we really have to humanize Kiryu, and they did it in such a bad way in the third game. The third game was almost horrendous. At points, I almost couldn't finish the third game because of those little bitches. And I'm supposed to, like, I feel for him, like, missing them and all that, because they're his children. But they did it in such a piss poor way in the third game that the third game, I've heard at least by some people, they hated it as much as I did almost. And it's not, I guess it's not hate, I just didn't really like the way they did it. But then you're saying to me that they're available to keep showing over and over and over and over and over again. But somebody I actually played with is not liked enough. But yet the girl I had to chase halfway across the city because she had a case of the SADS, was so amazing. I get to watch her grow up in some half-assed kind of way. All right, then. Oh, man. I'm not bitter about the third game. What do you mean? Actually, the third game had a lot of different things that did not tie back together. Like, I think the orphanage is in Okinawa, and Kiryu actually became like a brother, like a bonded brother to the guy who was the head of the Yakuza there. And like, you get to meet a lot of people there, and they don't get any continuation of story anyway. I think so. I think I just would have watched it or whatever online. It wasn't bad enough for me to quit, but the side shit with the kids got really fucking annoying. And like I said, I know they did that because they want us to, like, every time they bring up the kids in Kiryu's, like, present life, like him trying to earn money for the kids, him trying to keep the orphanage safe, him, like, one of the reasons why he's, like, pretending to be dead is so that nobody goes after the kids, because the organization has him by the balls, and they're basically, at any moment he doesn't obey, they're ready to actually storm the orphanage and steal, harm, kill, whatever the kids. So it keeps Kiryu on a leash. And I know they're going to use those kids over and over and over again to say that he's human and to give him motivation to do certain things and to stay certain places. However, yeah. But a lot of the other people you met in that third game, like the Okinawa Yakuza, you don't hear from them again. It's like they dropped off the face of the earth as well. Even the ones who survived, you know? And I think the one who's basically like Kiryu's brother might have survived. Bonded sworn brother, whatever they call him. And yet, you don't see or hear from him ever again. The one who wanted to have Kiryu as his Aniki actually is never heard from or seen again. And I think one of them actually does die. But, like, not everybody from, like, Okinawa dies. So, like, them just being like, yeah, by the way, all these people you saw in this third game, they don't exist anymore. It's like, well, what is the point of the third game then? I know, to get you to feel for Kiryu every time he has a heartache for those little brats. Because none of the characters survived the third game. As far as, like, repeat offenders. So, that's another thing that kind of ticks me off, is, like, the good parts of the third game, like a lot of the different characters that were part of the Yakuza down there in Okinawa, you don't see them. You don't see them anymore. You don't hear how they're doing. When Kiryu's people are being threatened down there, the kids, the people down there don't help him. It's kind of fucked up. So now that I've talked about Yakuza for about an hour, I don't know. But yeah, you're right. I should start playing more games that I enjoy on stream. So that would be Rogue Legacy 2 would be one. Someone's using tilt controls. Oh my Lanta, that's rough. I haven't used it since they were newer for the system. I think the Mario Kart Wii, we both had the little like Wii steering wheels and shit. I actually put stickers on mine. So yeah, my D-pad's going out in this Pro Controller. I don't know what I did. Like I said, the last few months, I've lost so many. Like, my controller started fucking up since, let's say, August, I think. My controller started fucking up. We lost one of our floor fans, because we run a floor fan every night to sleep. My tablet went out. The new tablet, the headphone jack is already out, even though I just bought the damn thing. So I'm using Bluetooth now. Our TV went out. Then when we got the new TV, the first one we got in here was broken. They did take the broken one today, so that was good. But yeah, it's like we're having a real fuckery with the amount of electronic issues we're having lately. Like anything that plugs in anywhere, it's like really bad. I think husband said his Xbox controller is double tapping the A again, and his last one did that as well. So I don't know what's going on in our house. But something's fucking with our electronics. Yeah. And we're in more debt again because we have to fix some of it. Like, I'm not getting a new Pro controller. If I need something that has a D-pad and I'm playing by myself, I'll borrow his. And, like, I'm not, you know, we're not, like, changing around certain things. He has to learn to live with his controller as well. We had one more fan that's, like, older than the last fan that's still kicking. So we did not redo the fan, like, buy another fan yet. But with the TV, the only other TVs we have, and you're like, you're poor and you have more than one, yes. Husband has a tiny TV that he plays extra stuff on if we're playing together that I can't use because tiny. And then we have a 32-inch TV, but it's so old, like the Xbox can't fit onto the screen anymore, so it gets cut off. And everything gets blurry as a motherfucker. Yeah, sometimes it does. My family does bad things to technology if they've been upset too. Like, you know, the one brother who passed away, he could not have watches. He could not wear a watch because he drained every battery he ever had within a matter of like days. No matter the watch, no matter the battery. I got him a pocket watch once because with his name engraved on it. He loved his full name. And it got so bad that eventually the watch stopped working entirely. So, tall one could never have a watch. He could never have one around him or it went dead. Any wristwatch he ever had, his pocket watch. One time I gave him my watch, the battery fucking stopped because I just wanted him to like fucking like hang on to it for a couple days for me because I was doing something at their house and I didn't want to lose my watch and it went dead, but it was only the battery, thank Christ. And it got to the point where he could not switch out the clock batteries unless he did it really quick. It was weird. I think it's mostly the 9 volts though that had a problem with him for some reason. So yeah, anytime we gave him a watch, no matter how new, how old, when the batteries were changed, they would always die. And sometimes it was just draining the batteries and sometimes it depleted and never started up again. And no, he wouldn't like bash them or anything. I know you might think that, but no. So I don't know what happened. It's just one of the things with tall one. The weird thing is when my mom would get really upset, it would fuck up her computer too. Like, my mom would be on the computer doing something, and then something would upset her, and then all of a sudden it would shut off, or I don't know, it was just weird. My family is weird. I never understood why that was. And I don't think I do that, but I've been really upset since about August, and now all this stuff is coincidentally fucking up. And I think it is a coincidence, most of it, but holy shit, it's just been... Like, I think my D-pad is just random, and husband had a, you know, an A button going on him before, and our fan was old, so I'm like excusing like everything. And my tablet was like not having a good life when I first got it. Like After a few months it started like losing battery life faster. So, you know, I'm like, maybe it's not me, it's just one fuck of a coincidence for everything to be like shorting out at once. But yeah, I like playing Mario Kart on stream. I honestly was hoping this would be one of my community day games. I'm still hoping someday I'll have a big enough community where we can like play Mario Kart, Paladins, Fortnite, all kinds of stuff together. And just like talk and laugh and just play. I've seen at least one person I watch fairly frequently. Her husband watches her fairly frequently. And she has a small, dedicated group of people. And all day long, she just plays different multiplayer games with her people. Like Among Us, Paladins, Party Animals. She just plays like a bunch of different like multiplayer games most of the time. She switches games every like couple hours. Different people jump in and out. But yeah, she spends most of her streaming time doing that. And I honestly would love that. I honestly would love Discord hangouts with movies and, you know, more games and stuff like that. I kind of resigned myself after the first year of doing this, though, that that's not what I'm gonna get. There are a few reasons, but it's just not gonna pan out. And that's okay. Yeah, I think that most of it was just, you know, because I'm like, well, you know, like I said, the one fan was old. Tony would just short out watches though, no matter what was happening. It was weird. Weirdest thing. But my family does have a weird way of doing all of that. And I don't know what it is. It's not me. That's one thing I don't think I can do much. Is have an influence on electronics. And I think it's because I melt down so bad. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I've been thinking about like the first year. I thought that I would have by year 3, let's say, like I was hoping for like 20 people where we all kind of knew each other, you know, could all kind of get along and liked each other, and we would like talk and play games and watch movies. And I kind of wanted, that's kind of what I wanted out of streaming in a way, was just to get like 20 to 50 people around me that I could know and just nestle inside. And everybody would like everybody, and we would talk and laugh and share troubles and joys and all that shit. I've met some nice people, but they're all just kind of like their own islands, if you know what I'm saying. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but it just wasn't a cohesive thing. You know, it's kind of like how my like family is now. We used to be like a cohesive unit, and now we're all just kind of like our own separate islands. Like there is no glue anymore. And part of that is growing up, part of that is loss. Part of that is we're just all different people, I suppose. But it's sad. It's one of the reasons why Christmas is gonna be sad for me. Because there is no central hub anymore. Like we used to go home for Christmas Eve. My heart sister would be there, my baby brother would be there, my mom would be there, and my 2 oldest brothers would be there. No, my 2 older brothers. And now it's like, if I did go over, like last year there was, of course, my oldest brother and my nephew, my youngest brother, my heart sister, my husband, and me. That was who was left, because Tall One and Mom are gone. And this year, we're not going over to the oldest brother's house because reasons. My oldest brother and I are 2 very different people. And I wish that he could see who I was, but it's not something that's going to happen. And instead of my brain adjusting to it and dealing with it, I'm not dealing with it. Because all my brain is like, your entire family pretty much is gone. Except my husband and my 2 younger siblings. Like, when life started, like, my parents got divorced when we were pretty young. And when my parents got divorced, we didn't see my dad for very long. Because he didn't want to be a father. That's just how it went. So, at the beginning of life, like my life as a kid, there was my mom, my 2 older brothers, and me. When I was 10, my baby brother came along and started life as my cousin. And so we kind of adopted him as he got older because we half raised him. So, but baby brother, the artist with a capital A, he has been in and out kind of sort of all the while. And my hard sister and I, we were about 12 years old or so when we started actually like being pen pals. Middle school, we had like moved into the same school. We were in different elementary schools. So from like 7th grade on, we were like absolute inseparable besties. And so she came into my family after my baby brother came into my family. And then my husband came into my family in 2005. Officially married, 2006 when he moved in with me. And then my baby nephew was the last in our family. And even though we didn't have like a big family, because I don't have any godparents anymore because reasons, or aunts or uncles, because a lot of my cousins and stuff are not nice people. And I'm not going down the list, but some criminals, some backstabbers, you know the drill. A lot of people have those kind of people in their families. So all we had for the longest time was each other. Me and my mom, my siblings, that's basically what we had for the longest time. And originally, till I was 10, it was just me, my mom, and my 2 older brothers. And for the first few years of my baby brother's life, we would watch him occasionally, but he wasn't around as often as a baby. So like until I was a teenager, let's say, it was just the 4 of us mostly. And like now, since my oldest brother and I aren't let's say the same people anymore, and since my mom and my other brother are gone, the first 4 of us, there is 1 left. And I can't tell if my oldest brother is the one left and I was never part of it, or if I'm the one left and my oldest brother is no longer a part of it. I can't tell. But we're both not part of it anymore. Because it's not something that he wants. Or it's not something I feel he wants. And that's what's been making my heart hurt. So if you notice days where I'm not with it, or I'm like losing my place in a video game, like getting lost yesterday, and I feel like I'm like crushed over getting lost in a video game, it's not the video game. It's the fact that I'm dealing with so much loss, and the fact that my oldest brother doesn't care about me as a person, or know who I am, or whatever it is. Or he's too lost from losing the brother between us, that he can't tolerate me being around anymore. Whatever it is. So if you see me losing my shit, and I've been on and off, yeah, see, the tall one, the middle brother between the oldest one and I, he actually said to me in September, not this last September, September of last year. He said that he was the glue, the bridge between us, the bridge between me and the oldest brother, me and Golden Wolf. And that he was afraid if something ever happened to him, that Golden Wolf and I would not survive. Because Tall One being the bridge between us, and me and Golden Wolf being so different, you know, he thought it just wouldn't matter. And I told him, of course, not to talk that way, but we had all been thinking more about death since we had lost our mom. And I'm like, Tall One, you're only like 40 years old. Don't worry about that, dude. A few months later, he's, you know, dead. So I guess you worry about things because you never know. And he was right. That Golden Wolf thinks that I don't care about him and that I've abandoned him and whatever else. And I feel abandoned by Golden Wolf, and he got to the point where he stopped talking to me, and he hasn't talked to me since July. And it's because I hurt him and he felt like I abandoned him. Yeah, our family's like that. But I dismissed it, you know. I dismissed Tall One as being obsessed with death because of Mom. Because we had lost our mom like February of 2021. And here he is, September of like 2022, talking to me about if he's gonna die and like us not staying together. And I'm just like, well, you know, he's upset about Mom. Him and her were very close. Tall One was actually her caregiver for years, her stay-at-home caregiver. So I just kind of thought that that's where it was all coming from. You know, I dismissed it. And in our family, dismissing things is deadly. You know, it's like when I told Tall One when he was sick around Halloween last year, to go to the hospital, go to the doctor. I said, you've been too sick for too long. Something is very wrong with you. And he's like, I'm all right. I'm getting better. I'm like, I don't think you are. I said, don't stay here at my house. Go to the doctor. And they went home because they were all sick at the time. And the night Tall One finally went into the hospital for emergency antibiotics, thinking that that's what he needed, I remember sitting there with a cup of cocoa and I started crying. And my husband said, what's wrong? And I looked at him and I said, everything is going to change and I am just so damn sad. And at the time, all we thought was that he needed antibiotics. So I don't know why I looked at him and said that. I don't know. But I just said everything is going to change and I'm just so damn sad. Well, yeah, once Tall One died, everything did change. My oldest brother wanted nothing to do with me. Our middle brother is gone. And the thing is, I love those motherfuckers. Like, I've always loved my older brothers, even if they preferred to spend time with each other than me. I always loved them. And, you know, my middle brother, Tall One, he would actually say to Golden Wolf and I at points that we're his best friends. And, yeah, so all very sad, really. And I don't know if Golden Wolf will ever figure out why he hates me so much. I don't even know if he does. Maybe I've just disappointed him in some way. Maybe he has an idea of what a sister should be, and maybe I'm just not that. Maybe I just could never be that. And sometimes I wish I could. You know, after Tall One died, because Tall One and Golden Wolf lived together with Little Wolf. So Golden Wolf, Tall One, and Little Wolf all lived together. And my mom had lived in the same place with them until she died. I actually talked about moving in with Golden Wolf and Little Wolf after Tall One died. And husband said, that house is not accessible for you. And he's listing like all these things that are, you know, not copacetic for me to move in. You know, they didn't mask, they don't vaccinate. There's just so many different things that go on. You know, little Wolf goes to public school and he picks up everything under the sun. And that's how Tall One got it, I think. I'm not sure. Like, what ended up, you know, taking him out. So, my husband's just like, this is not good for you. But he actually had to talk me down because I was ready to move in with Golden Wolf because he didn't have anybody to have his back for babysitting. He didn't have anybody to have his back for, like, if he got into a financial bind. And I was ready to actually, like, give up our apartment. The only place we've lived since 2008, by the way. And move in with my brother and his son to help take care of everything. But I would not be able to shower because they didn't even have an ability thing where I could shower there. There are just so many things where his apartment is not accessible for me. And I would have been giving up everything. As far as like my ability to even get clean would not have been available anymore. He has a tub, I need a walk-in shower because, you know, disabled. So, but that wasn't going to stop me. You know? And after a while, I guess it just doesn't matter what you want to do or what you try to do or what you try to help. And like I said, I might be the bad guy here. I might have done something that I don't know about. I've had conversations with our baby brother about certain things, like he tried to get us to talk before he left for college again, and that kind of blew up spectacularly. I sent Little Wolf a Halloween card, and I told him in the card I will send birthday and Christmas gifts by mail because I honestly don't know what to do, and I want to honor Golden Wolf's wishes of me not being in his life anymore. And trust me, when someone doesn't talk to you for months, that's basically what their wishes are. He refused to tell me what was wrong. He refused to tell me why he refused to see me. Everything. He refused. So, I thought I was a monster for months, to be honest with you. I thought I was like the worst sister in the world. But I think a lot of it stems from his pain. I think he hurts people because he doesn't know how to deal with his own hurt. But that doesn't fix anything, you know. I wish he loved me in the way that I love him. I wish he wanted to be a part of my life in the way I want to be a part of his life. But I can't make that happen. I can't make him see me as something he doesn't see me as. You know, to him I'll always be the annoying kid sister who, you know, always blabbed everybody's secrets to everybody and always, you know, got my way or whatever. Don't know what to do about that. He's over 40 years old. I am almost 40 years old. Yeah, that's okay. I'm just yakking. But yeah, I'm almost 40 years old. And I'm just like, you can't force someone to care. And even if it is on his end, even if it is on my end, you know, I can't force him to tell me what I did wrong. And I didn't think I did, but apparently I did. And baby brother, he just wants the family together again. So he keeps talking to me about Golden Wolf. And I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I have constant nightmares. I'm dreading Christmas Eve, which was when we all got together. My digestive system is a total wreck. And I feel like I lost him this year like I lost Tall One last year. Like I lost Mom the year before. So like I said, if you see me like having, let's say, a time, and I think this will be the last race, but if you see me like having a time of it this year, especially around Christmas, which I might actually stream this Christmas Eve because I won't be anywhere else. That's why. Because my entire family like slid out from under me the last 3 years. And that's not counting like all my medical stuff or any of the other things I go through. Like on a constant basis. So I feel like I have no one hardly around me anymore. It's like my husband, my sister, and my baby brother. That's like the only family I have left. When we were little, we had my mom's family, and my mom had like 2 brothers, and they had their kids and their wives. And we used to all like play together and stuff with the cousins. And from the time I was like 7 to the time of now, I went from having cousins and grandparents and aunts and uncles and everything to having like my 2 youngest siblings, and that's it, and my husband. So I went from having, like, I would say, let me count. Okay, my one uncle had, let's say, 3 kids that I don't claim. So he had a wife and himself and 3 kids, so that's 5. Then the other one had 3 and his wife, so that's 10. And then my grandma and grandpa, so that's 12. And then my 4 siblings, and which is down to 2 now. So I had almost 20 people in my family at one point. From the time I was 7 till now. It's like I have 3 now. And that's it. And I've always searched for family in some weird way. I've always been that person that reaches out to everybody and tries to like help everybody, but one of the things is I have such a hard time with friends because what I'm looking for is family. And I've always felt that way, like, this person, where do they fit in? Do I trust them enough to call them my family? And for most people, the answer, of course, is no, because friends aren't exactly the same thing. You have friends, and then you have friends who feel like family and are family, and you have family who doesn't even count as a friend. So I've been looking for a family my whole life, on and off. And I'm just sad and old. And I'm basically nursing home old, you know, where all the best things are gone. Well, anyway, I know that's a bit of a downer, and it's a bit of a hyperbole, but it's been rough. But on that lovely note, I think that will finish up this last stream for the week. I might get rid of Dead Island. I think I will. And I might start playing Rogue Legacy 2 next week. We'll see. I am at the Gorilla now for Sea of Stars, so I will be continuing that. And we'll just have to see what happens, alright? I hope you all have an amazing weekend. It's the weekend before Thanksgiving for those of you in America. So get your pies going and whatnot. Or if you do the day of mourning thing, get your charitable donations to Indigenous folks. All that good stuff. Whatever it is you do, please be safe. And I will see you maybe around Monday, Tuesday way. Okay, everybody? Bye.